Have you ever heard of France's famous Pink City? If not, you're not alone, because many people have never heard of this amazingly interesting city in the south-central region of France. It is filled with interesting architecture, impressive museums, a lively atmosphere, and burgeoning business growth. The city also has a fascinating history, founded by the Romans, spanning millennia. Join me on a journey as we explore and see the best things to do and see in France's fabled Pink City. Hey everyone, JP here and welcome back to another episode of Project Gaia. Today we are in beautiful Toulouse, France. Now Toulouse is known as the Pink City because as you can see behind me, the whole city has this kind of pinkish red, light brown hue to it. It really is beautiful. If you enjoy architecture, you are going to love Toulouse because it's literally a living architecture museum. I mean, you just look everywhere and it's just beautiful and cool and very French, right? This is the fourth most populous city in France, so it is pretty busy. There are parts that are quiet, though. I like to kind of go down the meandering alleys and get into the quiet sections, but there are busy sections too. It's a very large city. It has a little bit of an international flair as well. So what we're going to do on this video, we are going to explore Toulouse fully, and I'm going to show you the best things to do and see while you're here in Toulouse. And also, please ignore my Nelly Band-Aid right here. I fell down some stairs filming in another location in France just the other day. So I had walking shoes, but it still happened to me. But make sure you bring your walking shoes when you're on these kind of medieval hilly streets because you could fall right on your head like I did. So let's begin. So the most famous site in Toulouse is the Basilica of Saint-Sernin, which is behind me. Now, this church was constructed between 1080 and 1180, so it's pulling up on about 900 to 1,000 years old. And this is a very special church. One, it celebrates the martyrdom of Saint-Sernin, who was dragged to his death by bulls. In the early days of the Christian church, a lot of pagans did not want Christianity spreading, so it celebrates his martyrdom. Number two, this is a stop on the Santiago de Compostela, so if you're doing your pilgrimage, this is somewhere that you would stop. And number three, this is the home of many relics. So in the Catholic Church, it is very important to honor the relics of saints. So, you know, you go all over Europe and you'll see like a piece of the cross, you'll see some of the Crown of Thorns. The most famous is the Shroud of Turin in Italy, but there are very special relics here as well. So this is an amazing church and has a fascinating history, and we're going to learn all about that. So let's head inside. The Basilica of Saint-Sernin is a true gem of Romanesque architecture. The basilica was built between the 11th and 13th centuries and stands as a testament to the skill and devotion of its creators. Its impressive size and grandeur is characterized by a 5-aisled nave and a majestic bell tower. It is considered one of the largest and greatest Romanesque buildings in all of Europe. The basilica was originally constructed to honor Saint-Sernin, who was the first Archbishop of Toulouse and was martyred in the 3rd century. You will be awestruck by the basilica's soaring ceilings, intricate carvings, and stunning relics. It was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1998, honoring its contribution to French and world history and importance. Saint-Sernin is not just an architectural marvel, but a vibrant piece of living history. It continues to inspire and uplift all who visit, offering a profound connection to the past and a glimpse into the spiritual devotion of medieval France. Housed right across the street from the Basilica is the Musée Saint-Raymond, also known as the Archaeology Museum. So this museum shows you the fantastic story of the history of Toulouse. You know, a lot of people think of Toulouse as kind of a a medieval Renaissance city, but it has its origins even from before the Roman era. So it really has an excellent exhibit on Roman Toulouse. So I highly recommend you go in here, you visit the museum and learn all about the city's earlier history, so before Christianity, before the medieval, and it goes into that later. So another thing to note is that your admission to the museum also includes your admission to Couvent des Jacobins, which we're going to later. And then you have your ticket already for our next site. So let's head in. The Musée Saint-Raymond celebrates the archaeological history of Toulouse. Housed in the museum are hundreds of artifacts found in and around Toulouse that illustrate the city's long history. Here you will find amazingly preserved artifacts, statues, mosaics, and more from antiquity up into the medieval era. It is fascinating walking through the halls of this archaeological museum, and it makes you think what else may be right under your feet as you wander the pink-hewn streets of Toulouse. Toulouse is one of those cities where you want to get lost. Wander into the narrow medieval lanes. Look up and marvel at the centuries-old architecture that seemingly brush up right against each other. And most importantly, enjoy the beauty and free-living spirit that emanates from the lively souls of the people of Toulouse. The next site that you have to see when you're here in Toulouse is Couvent des Jacobins, which is behind me. It doesn't look that great on the outside, but once you get inside, it is truly beautiful. Now, it was built in 1280, and it is a deconsecrated Catholic church and convent of the Dominican order. So when you go in, it's not a church, right, anymore. So you don't have to be like super quiet, and there's like a museum in there too. But it used to be a convent for the order, and it has these just amazing stained glass windows and these super tall vaulting ceilings, and it has an amazing cloister that you can kind of chill in. And so let's head in. The Couvent des Jacobins is an amazing example of Gothic architecture founded in the 13th century by the Dominican order. This former convent is renowned for its awe-inspiring architectural elegance and historical significance. Its striking features include the famous palm tree-style vaulted ceiling with 22 ribs fanning out from a single column, producing a mesmerizing visual effect. This is also the final resting place of St. Thomas Aquinas, one of the greatest theologians in world history. His relics are housed in a reliquary on site and attracts pilgrims and scholars from around the world. The convent's cloister is one of the most majestic and visually appealing in all of Europe, and offers a serene retreat where you can relax and marvel at the exquisite medieval artistry and craftsmanship. Today, the convent serves as a cultural and spiritual hub, hosting concerts, exhibitions, and conferences that continue to enrich Toulouse. It stands as a testament to the enduring legacy of the Dominican order and the timeless beauty of Gothic design. So interestingly, Toulouse doesn't have a lot of green space. You see a lot of plazas, which they call plazas, with everybody sitting down at the cafes. You see a lot of, small squares with fountains and stuff like that, but you don't see a lot of green space. If you want that, you have to come to where we are now. This is the Jardin des Plantes, and it's a beautiful green space. It's a good probably 10 to 15 minute walk south of where all the main stuff is, but it's well worth it. And if you want to relax a little bit between your whole tour, it's well worth it because it has a beautiful foliage and it really is a nice place to relax or just have a walk through. Toulouse's Jardin des Plantes is one of my most favorite green spaces in France. It offers the visitor a walk through a majestic, almost fairy tale-like world of plants, streams, wildlife, flowers, and even waterfalls. I recommend taking a break from your big tour of Toulouse in this amazingly serene and almost artistic garden. Take a minute to reflect on the beauty of the city and how it seamlessly merges the old with the new in its own creative way. Make sure you check out the Pont Neuf Bridge as you wander the streets of Toulouse. This is the city's most famous and most photographed bridge and has been transporting the people of Toulouse across the river for almost 400 years. Another interesting place to check out in Toulouse is the Musée Paul Dupuy. This museum is known for its cutting-edge and sometimes off-color exhibits that emanate the consistently progressive nature of French artistry. It also is the home to various artifacts from the late medieval, Renaissance, and early modern eras. It has a dark and interesting vibe, and if you're interested in the era's history and explosion of intellectual, scientific, and mechanical knowledge, you will find this museum highly interesting. Don't forget to soak in the charm of the city. Stop at a cafe, strike up a conversation with someone, wander through a true pedestrian paradise surrounded by its famous pink and red-hewn buildings jutting up above you. And don't forget to check out some nightlife as the city explodes with liveliness until the wee hours of the morning. Capitole is the center of Toulouse. Now, what it is most of the time is a plaza, but they have a bunch of events here. It's a public meeting place. There's tons of cafes, and there's beautiful architecture surrounding the plaza. We're also going to go into the actual building, which is the Toulouse City Hall. Now, the Toulouse City Hall is probably one of the best city halls you'll ever see, and you're going to see why in a minute. I mean, it has these amazing frescoes, and it's just amazingly ornate and beautiful. So let's explore the plaza. The Place du Capitole is the geographic, governmental, and cultural center of Toulouse. Here is one of the best places to grab a drink, lunch, or dinner, as the plaza is filled with restaurants all surrounded by the city's famous architecture, with the Capitole serving as the center point. As you've probably noticed, it has been cloudy and dreary all day, and right as we entered the Capitole, it began to pour. Inside La Capitale, you will find one of the most amazingly beautiful city halls in the world. There has been an administrative building on this site since 1190, but the majority of the building dates to the mid-1700s. Inside, you can marvel at the absolute grandeur of this fine edifice. It really offers the visitor the quintessential look into 18th century French-specific architecture and design, where you almost think you need a big white wig to step into this place. The frescoes all around you are truly amazing and something, in my opinion, that actually rival the beauty of the Vatican. I had an amazing time showing you the best things to see and do in Toulouse, France. And if you enjoyed this content, please make sure you subscribe, like this video, share this video, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of my tours throughout the world. Thanks for watching, and until next time, guys, take care. Bye.